Welcome back to UKSG Spring 2021. We have our next run ready. I'd love to introduce you all to DigitalDuck, who's going to be running Dizzy, the ultimate cartoon adventure, any percent for you. DigitalDuck, take it away.
Hello. Yeah, as you heard, I'm DigitalDuck. I'm joined by the wonderful Tiny Tim on commentary.
Hello there, folks. My name is TinyTim78.
And yeah, we'll just get on with it. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Dizzy. It's the first game in the actually quite long-running Dizzy series. There are eight games now in the main series, along with a whole bunch of spin-offs. The gameplay is fairly simple. You run around, you do jumps, and you pick up items to use in various places. So we've picked up an empty potion bottle now, and we're going to need to fill it with potion eventually, as soon as this apple gets out of the way. There we go. But first of all, just a quick fun glitch. You don't have to do this, and in fact it loses a little bit of time, but I like to drop the potion bottle there because it bounces up and down. So generally, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to kill the evil wizard's axe, who has done some bad stuff. I don't remember exactly what it's done. And to do that, we need to collect a bunch of ingredients and put them in the pot to brew a potion to kill him.
As you do.
As you do, yep. They are... What do we need? Leprechaun's wig, a vampire duck's feather, a flask of troll brew, and something else I've forgotten.
I can't quite remember either.
We'll pick it up eventually. So I'll tell you when we see it. Oh, it's the cloud silver lining. That's right. Cloud silver lining. There we go. So we need to mix them all up into a cauldron and make a potion to kill the evil wizard's axe. They're not easy to find though, and we can't just find them laying about. We actually have to use various other items to get access to them. So we've just died on the spider for no reason. That's not a good start.
Fortunate.
Yeah, so normally what I do is I fall down onto that bouncy pad, do one full bounce and then a jump to the right, and that's normally enough to get me there. It failed me this time. I'm going to jump into this screen because when I use the key here and deliberately die, I can jump up to here, and this saves me from solving a puzzle with the bucket. And I died on the spider.
It's a nice skip.
Okay. So yeah, so normally I have to go all the way to the bottom of the mines to get the purse of gold to make that bucket move. But by abusing death there, we can skip all of that. And we've got the cloud silver lining. We're going to put that in the bucket. In the cauldron.
Sure.
Not going to put it in the bucket.
Now, as you can see, this game has got interesting physics, shall we say.
Yeah, so the items will actually behave. They follow their own physics, so you can drop them onto things and save some time by doing that. I think this is the only Dizzy game where you can actually do that. In later games, once you drop an item, it just stays there.
Being the first game, obviously it's on a different game engine than the sequel games. And again, the interesting thing I like about this game, well, like is not the right word really, but this game actually has no in-game music. It's the only one in the series on the Spectrum, certainly, that does.
Yeah, so unfortunately, everything's a bit quiet, but that's okay. We've taken the jacket and killed some raindrops because that's what jackets do apparently. And we've picked up the bird seed, and we're going to use this to get rid of the birds. So the birds, like everything else in this game, kill you in one hit. And we don't like that. So we're going to try and get rid of as many of them as we can. This bird likes to...
Bird RNG here.
Hang on. Okay. Go down. But I can't really do anything other than jump. I can only jump in this spot really, because anything else I do is gonna make the bird run away. Because it likes to actually avoid you. There we go.
Lots of RNG in this game.
Okay, we got that bird. Also, don't stand in the middle of this room. You fall down that pit. That is an instant game over. Essentially, you soft lock yourself from carrying on the game.
Can't get out of there.
Which we don't want to do.
Definitely not.
You can get out of it in one direction, I think, but not the other.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you can get out of it, but you can't cross it once you've done that. So we're going to keep the bird seed. We've got a whole bunch of birds here. Now these are the main reason I use the bird seed, because it's almost impossible to cross these rooms without avoiding the birds. He says after crossing the room without touching the birds. Right, so that's the bird seed out of the way. We're going to pick up the insecticide, and we're going to do exactly the same, but with all of the spiders. And this part's actually optional. We don't need to do this, but it will save us time in the long run, because we don't have to dodge the spiders and spend time waiting for them.
Similar to later games in the series, this game is pretty lethal. You only get 3 lives to start with. Basically any moving enemy can instantly kill you. And yeah, Duck is honestly making it look easy. It is not an easy game. It's really, really not.
So we've got a few more spiders to get rid of. There's one in the screen we start with. I don't actually need to get rid of it because it's very easy to avoid, but we're walking past it and I've already got the insecticide, so we'll just drop down and get it anyway. And then there's one more spider here, which I probably won't actually touch with the insecticide myself. What I'll do is I'll drop it next to it, and then I'll just let it kill itself when it's ready. Here we have the Ghost Hunter's laser, and I'm so glad that bat went down, because that would have been the end otherwise. There's the dead spider. We're going to get rid of the ghost.
Bit of Ghostbuster in there.
Yep. And we're going to pick up... we're going to knock this platform down first. And then we're going to pick up this can of oil.
Not mega fond
This
of
lets this lets us lower the drawbridge, because the mechanism is a bit stiff, so we need to grease it up a bit. That was okay. This is getting scarily close. In fairness, that one isn't as bad as it looks, because it's almost like a fixed time.
You do a little zip there with the lift as well.
Yeah, so when you're heading right, it doesn't actually save any time. It just looks better. I think it looks funny. It's about the same time whether you use it or not. If you're heading right, it saves a lot of time if you're heading left. So it's definitely important if you're going left, because it saves you from having to go right and then around the minecart. Right, so we've got to make our way all the way back through the graveyard.
One of the things you might have noticed is, depending on what's going on the screen, the speed of the game changes.
Yeah, this is a common thing with older games in general. If you even think back to the original Space Invaders, that it wasn't necessarily a feature originally, and it became a feature. But it's still true of this game. Whenever there's more going on screen, the game runs slower. When there's less going on, the game runs faster. So we've picked up the Vampire Duck's Feather. We need to take it back to the cauldron, but we're not going to take it all the way just yet. And that's because we've got other stuff we need to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop it just up here, because we need to pick up the gardener's spade. This lets us dig a hole. And Dizzy digs a hole like an expert by just dropping the spade and making the hole appear. So normally we'd have to use the mushroom trowel to get out of this area, but we're going to use another glitch. We're going to take these rusty bolt cutters, and then we're just going to jump here, and we're going to clip our way through the ground and save us a whole load of backtracking back and forth.
A nice clip, that.
And then that leads us nicely on to the absolute biggest skip in the entire game. It saves about 15 minutes. So normally what we'd have to do is go to the top of the ice mountain, pick up the Eye of the God, the yellow god, put it in the idol, and then grab the can of dry ice, go down to the crazy labyrinth, which is where I've just dug the spade up, go through a whole maze section, get a pickaxe, dig some bit of ground to get an emerald, I think. Use that to cut open a line, and then go to the nun statue and get something else. All of that, we skip all of that with some clever use of dry ice you'll see in a second.
This is totally not intended by the game. Also picked up an extra life there, so that's a nice little buffer.
Yeah, I'm going to need it, I think. I've been a bit unlucky with lives in the early game. So we've made our way to the leprechaun's wig. This is the third ingredient that we've picked up for the cauldron, but like the duck's feather, we're not actually going to take this to the cauldron just yet, because we are on the way to pick up the dry ice.
Same skip again. This time, as Duck was saying, it's definitely beneficial.
Yeah, because we're heading left this time, it saves about 15-20 seconds, I think. Maybe a bit less. So we go up here, we're going to try and get the dry ice. We're going to die from the bird, that's not good. Good job we picked up that extra life. I'm going to reset the cycle here. I'm going to reset the cycle again. Give me a good cycle. There we go, okay. So we're going to take the bottle of dry ice. And rather than go all the way to the other end of the map, down the tunnel, through a whole maze section, that's far too long. We're just going to take the shortest route possible, which is a straight line from here. So we're going to head left. Avoid this bat, head left. Across this, again to the left. Left it one more time. And then we're going to drop our dry ice right here and freeze over this water flow. And this takes us straight to the amulet.
Which, as we said earlier on, was completely not intended, but it is a massive, massive skip.
Yep, and it is possible to soft lock by using the dry ice in the wrong place. So that's why I feel like this isn't an intended skip. Then again, it is possible to soft lock you in other ways that are intended, so who knows. We need this protective amulet because the evil wizard's axe fires some sparks. And when I say fires, I mean he kind of exists in the vicinity of some sparks that are bouncing around. But I assume he's supposed to have fired them.
Just to point out at this point that this is I mentioned it earlier, ZX Spectrum game. It's 1987, which was quite a long way into the Spectrum's lifespan, but it was actually pretty good for the day, and it was also £1.99 when it first came out. It was a budget title, wasn't it, Doug?
Yeah, I think apart from Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, every Dizzy game's been a budget title, hasn't it?
Yeah.
When they're some of the best games available on the platform.
I never finished this as a kid. I can barely finish it today.
Yeah, no. This is definitely one of the harder games in the series. There's a lot more emphasis on platforming. There's a lot more lethal enemies, and there's a lot of RNG as well, which doesn't help. But that kind of makes it more fun to speedrun.
It is interesting, as Duck mentioned earlier on, that this did indeed, it was that successful. It was a bit of a slow starter, but when it got going, it produced 8 sequels. and about 4 or 5 different spin-off titles as well. So Dizzy, towards the end of the Spectrum's life, was one of the big sort of mascots on the platform.
Yeah, and of course those are just the Spectrum games as well, because it's also a bunch of ports and spin-offs for home computers as well, for consoles, I mean. Right, so we use the amulet, we destroy that spark there. We don't need to worry about the top one, because we're not going up to the top. So we need to go and get the troll brute, and I've just been killed by the bat. I'm Okay. This game is determined to leave me on 1 life the whole way through. So the flask of troll brew is the very last ingredient that we haven't yet picked up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this back to the cauldron. We're going to go ahead and fetch the duck's feather and leprechaun's wig that we've left just handily laying about.
Do we have a second for the host to say something?
Yeah, this is a good time for any messages.
No problem at all. We've actually got a couple of donations that have come in. We have a $5 donation from DigitalDuck fan who says, God bless. And we also have a $20 donation from Mike131 who says, keep up the good work. We are now at $1,925. We're so close to that $2,000 total. And just on the conversation you two are having, I remember having Fantastic Dizzy on the Mega Drive when I was younger. Never completed that either.
Yeah, Fantastic Dizzy is one of the longer ones. It's exactly the same style as these games, as the main series of the games, but it's not considered one of the main 8.
Very difficult.
It's not a numbered one, but the main reason it's so difficult is because it's basically all of the first few Dizzy games mashed together. So you've got a whole massive number of rooms and objects and enemies and things to pick up, and you've just got the 3 lives as always. So it can be a nightmare to try and complete the whole lot in one go. Right, that's the duck's feather sword. We've just got the leprechaun's wig to go pick up. And here it is.
As I was saying, this game was one that I obviously played a lot when I was younger, but I did prefer the later titles in the series. This was one that I could never, mind you, I never beat hardly any of them. I only beat a couple of them. The series as a whole has a bit of a reputation for being pretty tough, I would say.
Yeah, and just like generally speaking, Fantasy World and Magic Land are usually considered the two best ones in the series. And I would agree with that, I think. And then Prince of the Yokefolk also gets a good...
Yeah,
also has a good reputation.
Yeah, it's a pretty short game, but it's good.
Yes, those 3, they actually all have the same engine as well, which... So it seems to have been a winning formula that they stuck with. We've got the full potion bottle, so now we're just going to head to Zax and get rid of him. Normally... Well, not normally, but what I was going to do is stay there as we kill him and read the scrolling message, but I'm actually on a really good pace right now. So I'm going to do the proper speedrun thing, which is where we kill him and then run away to a safe room that moves, because as Tim mentioned before, the game runs at different speeds in different rooms. So once we've killed him, like we have now, there is a timer that runs. So for a set number of frames, and then the game ends.
Time's coming up.
And it's timer's coming up when the game ends. It will be when that horseshoe stops flashing. I don't really know how long it is. It's about 10 seconds from now. So I'll just tell you when it's ready. Just watch the horseshoe. Time.
GG. Nice run.
That was a scary run, but that was
times, yeah, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, but that was pretty quick. Do we have any idea how? Do we know how fast that was? Because
Yeah, I've got a confirmed time here of 90 minutes and 7 seconds.
okay, if that's accurate, I think that's a PB.
Oh, nice. Well done, Duck.
Congratulations.
So I'll have to go through and retime it and probably upload it.
Excellent. That was really good.
Fantastic run there, DigitalDuck. Congratulations on the potential new PB there. Brilliant, brilliant. Right, we're going to get ourselves ready for the next run. Our DigitalDuck is going to be staying with us. We're going to be seeing Jumpin' Jupiter Prelude next. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. We're just going to go to a quick intermission to get set up.